That's one of two questions tonight. The second, though, has come alive, or rather begun to die and kill over the last couple of hours in a very serious way. The last thing that the Middle East needs is another war, another foreign invasion of another Arab country. But today, that's exactly what has begun. Saudi Arabia began a fierce bombardment from the air, of course, with their latest in American warplanes on the people in Yemen. The airport in Sana'a was mercilessly bombed. Dozens of civilians, most of them children as it happens, have been killed. More airstrikes are reported by the hour. Of course, Saudi Arabia had to admit that it had consulted the United States before invading its neighbor, Yemen, before beginning something that may last a very long time and be very momentous in its consequences. The United States, of course, could not deny that which Saudi Arabia had just announced. So they went further. They said that they had formed a joint command cell with the regime of Saudi Arabia, unelected, undemocratic, barbaric, and all of that. The United States government had formed a joint command cell to coordinate the attacks on Yemen by Saudi forces. And just in the last hour, the Israeli defense minister has announced that Israel too will back what they described, I don't, but what they described as the Sunni axis, which has begun this war. Let me tell you my own position on this. I have only two that I would like to adumbrate. The first is, I'm against the division of Yemen. I always have been, and I always will be. So the territorial integrity of one state in Yemen is what I believe in. Secondly, I believe in a government of national unity. There is no way that the rebel Houthis can govern Yemen alone and for any significant period of time. But you know what? The attempts by Saudi Arabia and their useful idiots on Twitter to claim that this is a Sunni-Shia conflict that's going on in Yemen are either fools or liars, because the Houthis are in apparently unbreakable alliance with the much larger force who are not Shiite and who are the supporters of the deposed President Ali Abdullah Saleh, the president who was deposed by violence that took place over many months and which I myself supported. I supported the revolution that overthrew Ali Abdullah Saleh, not because he was a Sunni, not at all, but because I believed that the people of Yemen deserve better. So what we have now is a confrontation between the Shiite Houthis, the Sunni supporters of the former President Ali Abdullah Saleh, fighting against an axis of Saudi Arabia, the United States of America, Israel, and Al-Qaeda. Does that sound familiar to you? Do you reckon for the idiots on Twitter, I am not a Shiite. I am not a Shiite. I am not opposing the Saudi invasion of Yemen for any religious or sectarian reason. I am opposing any, all, every foreign invasion of any, all, every Arab country. Can you get that? Now, who knew that Saudi Arabia had such a powerful air force? Certainly not the people in Gaza, who were slaughtered in the thousands just last summer. And Saudi Arabia did not lift one finger to help them. Never mind not sending its warplanes, they wouldn't even send a Kalashnikov bullet for the resistance in Gaza to continue their fight. They didn't even give a rial to the starving people in Gaza, even though they promised billions of them. These treacherous snakes are not Sunni. Do you think they're Sunni in the casinos in London, in the bordellos in London, when they're belly dancing for Netanyahu? There is nothing Sunni about these people. Those who were being slaughtered in Gaza, every one of them was a Sunni, and Saudi Arabia didn't lift one finger to help them. These sick hypocrites who run the dictatorship in Saudi Arabia have nothing to do with Sunni, nothing to do with Islam. Okay, I'm getting angry now. I better go to my first caller, Ali in Norwich.